Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Beyond Threat podcast by Bleckmann. As always, I am your host, Erik Janssen Steenberg, and we will be taking you on a journey through what is developing, what are the trends in supply chain management, logistics, the world we operate in, and then predominantly in the fashion and lifestyle sector. So today we're going to be talking about Rimoda. Rimoda is a new company started by Ribal Mahdi, of course, who is also my guest today. Ribal, thank you very much for being here today.
Good morning, Erik, and thank you for this lovely introduction.
Thank you. We want to get to know more about the Dutch brand, let's stipulate that, Dutch brand Rimoda, and we want to explore how you came about it. What did you see? What did you conclude why a company like Rimoda was on one hand needed and on the other hand a very, very good idea? So could you start by giving somewhat of an introduction of yourself, who you are and what you are doing at the moment, and share more about Rimoda as a company?
Sure. Well, my name is Ribal Mahdi. I'm the founder of Rimoda, an AI-enabled circular marketplace for unwanted fashion.
Okay, so we heard the buzzword AI is in there.
Yes, it's very much good. In there. We are based in The Hague, here in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
What inspired me to start Rimoda is my firm belief that impact-first for-profit business models are the way forward for a future-fit economy.
Yeah.
I want to prove that impact and profit can go hand in glove, and that actually with the right approaches, we can transform fashion waste into wealth. Ultimately, my ultimate objective is to bring back the good value of fashion.
Right. And with that idea in mind, looking through our sector, looking in the market, was there a distinct gap? Was there no company or trend looking after filling that gap?
Well, Erik, looking at it from a macro level, I have noticed that most of the multinational organizations are too big and too slow to actually adopt circular business models that are scalable enough to create the desired change.
Yeah.
And thus there was a need, in my opinion, for bottom-up approaches through innovation. While looking at things from a micro perspective, I saw that brands, consumers, and the society share the same pain points of unwanted fashion.
Absolutely.
While our current linear models are based on exchanging value, I found an opportunity here to create a new circular closed-loop model based on sharing value between brands, consumers, and the society. And this is how I came up with Rimoda.
And that is, of course, a different approach than what we have been seeing so far. But with all due respect, starting a new business, it's kind of gutsy. It takes a lot of stamina. And if we look at the brands that, for instance, Bleckmann works with, they are around for decades, not centuries, decades, have a lot of expertise in-house. So what was the point that you were convinced that the solution, the service that you had in mind was actually viable? That's the tricky part.
Yes, well, at one point, we are around 4 years away from the UN SDG 2030 global agenda goals.
Correct.
And yet, we remain very far from the desired results.
Yes.
So at one end, we find that sustainability and the SDGs are not up to the expectations. Probably because the SDGs are telling us what we should do.
Yes.
Here comes circularity, in my opinion, that provides practical implications. It actually tells us how we can achieve that.
Yes.
So this stems from my own perspective that circularity and circular fashion business models could actually bridge this gap and help us achieve our sustainability goals.
Yeah, but what you're saying is that you don't necessarily need to be reactive, but you want to be proactive. But for that, you need to look at circularity in a different kind of way. So, yeah, the question must be, how do you look at it? What is circular fashion to your opinion?
Exactly, and thank you for asking me this question. Because I have been, for example, looking at the R ladder. Despite the fact that it brings us a wealth of knowledge and it has inspired a lot of innovators and policymakers around the world to set the tone for accelerated circularity adoption, it remains modeled on a linear shape. It is actually a ladder.
What for the people listening that say, wait, R ladder? Do you know a way how to explain what the R ladder is in a couple sentences?
Yes, to keep it simple, the R ladder is the framework that defines the 10 actions that we should take towards accelerating circularity, like reusing, like repairing, like retaking, remaking, recycling, and so on.
There you go.
However, the way it is currently modeled is on the shape of a ladder, which in my opinion is linear. It remains a linear shape. That's why I came up with a rather circular model in my own perspective. So to create a circle, we need a perfect triangle. And for a triangle, we need 3 different points or stakeholders. In my case, it was consumers, brands, and the society.
Yeah.
And when we are able to create shared value among these 3 stakeholders, we can then create a circular closed loop model. And this is exactly what I'm trying to achieve.
So you much more try to push the sector, or at least the brands that you work with, to another way of approaching, another way of thinking about it. It's no longer a one-way street, the ladder up or down, but there's a whole matrix of possibilities because it's a circle where everybody can connect to anybody.
Exactly.
That makes sense. But to be able as a brand to adopt that and adapt to it, it is quite the change. And how does Rimoda assist? How do you help in making that change possible, so to speak?
Well, Erik, I don't want to reinvent the wheel in that sense. We as humans think in a linear way, and companies are also structured in a linear way. I have built the Rimoda model in such a way that consumers and brands entering the ecosystem will enter it in a simple and linear model. I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. So all they have to do is list their products. If you are a brand, you list your products. If you are a consumer, you simply upload pictures of your unwanted clothes.
Yeah.
But the outcomes that you reap when you become part of the ecosystem and when transactions occur within this ecosystem are circular and traceable outcomes. So you enter the ecosystem in a linear way, just like the way you're used to, and then you reap the benefits of a circular model.
Yeah, and of course, not everybody is as positive at first when looking at all the changes in circularity. Lots of people are afraid, or at least vigilant, for greenwashing. A lot of companies that are promoting the best thing since sliced bread. And when you take a deeper dive, you say, right, that's not that big of a deal. Why are you different? How is your approach different to the more, well, between brackets, traditional resale and second-hand marketplaces?
Well, I aim to be different because I'm creating the first ever closed loop business model that is able to trace and track every single piece of clothes that enters this ecosystem in a very transparent manner. I believe that other organizations are making tremendous efforts towards accelerating circularity.
Of course.
And I always believe in the goodwill of people. So even at sometimes when they are not able to achieve their goals, it does not necessarily mean that they are aiming for greenwashing. Maybe they are missing some points or not doing enough or failing to really achieve circularity although they might have the full intention to do so.
Yeah.
So if you look at the current e-commerce platforms, for example, that are mainly peer-to-peer platforms, they are mainly focusing on extending product life cycles through reusing. They are ticking one of the boxes of the R ladder, but as within such business models, they are failing to create a consolidated circular model.
Somewhat of a circular ecosystem, even.
Exactly.
Gotcha. So, while pondering about the right way to set up your company, to design your solutions and your processes, you have, of course, been talking to brands, but you've also been talking to consumers. And when you look at their opinion, you look at customer behavior as a whole, what is it that you have seen that surprised you in the way that consumers think about circularity in fashion?
Well, we are seeing a lot of accelerated demand for second-hand fashion on a global level.
Yeah.
And this market is expected to reach $500 billion, according to a study done by Boston Consulting Group by 2030, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So this is very good news already. But it's also notable to mention that this growth is being fueled by Generation Alpha. These young consumers aged 12 to 20 that are environmentally conscious. They have been brought up with terms like circularity, sustainability. They are influencing also their parents' buying decisions, and they often prefer the collective positive action to their individual own benefits.
Yeah.
And this is a very important target segment, in my opinion, that brands should focus on recognizing and on retaining within their marketing strategies. And this is exactly what Rimoda aims to do.
Yeah, and what you just said, huh? So the younger generation influencing the other generations, absolutely true. My kids are 17 and 19, and since they were young teenager, they indeed have been influencing me in how I approach buying fashion. But as a family as a whole, they get more and more say and influence me. So yeah, I think you're right. And is that also what you see in the communities, consumer behaving, shaping the future of circularity, or is it the other way around?
Yes, of course. So the future of circularity is going to be based on this collaboration between communities and consumers.
Yeah.
And here we can refer, for example, to the Netherlands as a case, as a country. I think that the Netherlands is a pioneer in promoting the shared economy between the communities and consumers, where the municipalities play a very big role in promoting circular business models, for example.
Yeah. We've learned a lot about Rimoda, and I think that there are a lot of listeners, starting to want to investigate on more about what you're doing, about how you are pushing that green wave, and we learned a lot about you, what it is that is getting you out of bed in the morning, and I thank you very much for this conversation. To my opinion, a good chat, and absolutely something that we need to digest now. So for you, the listeners, the viewers, we have been talking to Ribal, and we now know more about Rimoda. Part 2 will be more about the partnership of Rimoda and Bleckmann. How have we helped Ribal in designing his processes and making them a reality? It's one thing to have an idea, it's another thing to implement that idea and realize your dream. So thank you very much, Ribal, for being here today. Of course, I'm going to talk to you in part 2, as I just mentioned. But for the listeners, the viewers, if they already feel the urge to reach out, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, they can reach out to me on my LinkedIn page, and that's Ribal Mahdi, or feel free to visit Rimoda's website, www.rimoda.nl.
There you go. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for being here today, and make sure that you tune in for part 2. Please also make sure to click that button and get connected with Bleckmann so that you are automatically updated on trends and developments in the fashion and lifestyle supply chain management world. Thank you again. Talk soon.